So welcome to Boulder Valley Teaching Chapter. This is a spiritual community in Boulder Valley, and it is a powerful, if small, but yet powerful community where people have the opportunity to come play, learn. CSL Boulder Valley is this amazing structure, if you will, this amazing organization that is based in high consciousness. It's based in high vibration teaching, and the people who come and play here operate at a high level too. So if you're new to Boulder Valley, CSL Boulder Valley, welcome. I'm going to go ahead and start the slideshow here. Oops, let me make sure I push the share sound button. And reduce the size of this. Give me just a minute. I'm doing some computer magic here. Also, we have that picnic this afternoon at noon at Dr. Emily's, and the address where she lives is on the chat if you need that address. So, I'm going to go ahead and start their magical recording and our magical upfront slide here.
This is our place, come on in. Our place, so glad you're here. Our place, everybody's welcome. We see God on every face. Love lives here in this place. Welcome to our place, our sweet place.
As this beautiful music, this beautiful video unfolds, it reflects the beauty, the power, and the grace of each person here at CSL Boulder Valley. This congregation, this organization, this coming togetherness is powerful, not only for each person individually, but for the community as a whole. When we come together, magic flows, hugs, conversations, sharing of food, education between each other. We hold space for each other and listen to each other through presence. And when people are present in the moment, it is an amazing gift. It's one of the things that CSL teaches is how to listen powerfully. And people in this community practice that. I give great thanks for CSL Boulder Valley. I bless each person here, and I bless each person on this recording. Come play with us. Come dance the dance of oneness. You are blessed. And I release this prayer into the love and the law, and so it is.
Hey, James, can I make one little suggestion?
Please.
See in the upper left of your screen, there's a red, a yellow, and a green. Yeah, hit the green and see if your screen gets bigger.
Did it get bigger?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
okay.
so.
Yeah,
Well,
it might have gotten a little bit bigger. Thanks, Val. Appreciate that. This is living together like one being. Black Elk was a deeply beautiful and exquisitely powerful mystic in the Lakota community. This is one of his quotes. And while I stood there, I saw more than I can tell, and I understood more than I saw. For I was seen in a sacred manner, the shapes of all things in the spirit, and the shape of all shapes as they must live together, like one being. This is a beautiful foundation for this conversation. Part of this conversation is talking about oneness and being a mystic. A mystic one definition of being a mystic is having the ability to be present in the moment. When we're present in the moment, all possibilities are at our fingertips. Ernest Holmes was a mystic, and he was the founder of Centers for Spiritual Living and the Science of Mind. And he created 12 principles. And I'm going to read you the 8th principle. Everything is connected to everything else. And this is from the book Living the Science of Mind. Living the Science of Mind is this amazing compilation. A group of people came together and they took the original book that Ernest Holmes wrote called The Science of Mind. He wrote that like in the 20s or the 30s. And a group of people came together and kind of translated that book and updated the language to language that is modern day. And reading the book, Living the Science of Mind, is much easier than the original text. Reading the original text is extraordinarily powerful and deep, and the language is older. So when I reach for Ernest Holmes, I almost always reach for Living the Science of Mind instead of the original textbook, just because it's easier for me to assimilate. So Holmes pulled together a golden thread of truth from many religions and weave these together into the Science of Mind textbook. Oneness, or living together like one being, is foundational in many of these religions that Holmes studied. And it's foundational in the Centers for Spiritual Living. Okay, brace yourself. I've been quoting the Barbie movie the last 3 Sundays. The Barbie movie is this amazing work. And usually when people think of Barbie, it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know about Barbie stuff. And this movie is deeply powerful. From my perspective, the people that created this movie are mystics, and they're modern day mystics. This is a quote from Instagram, I believe. Apparently, the Barbie movie is triggering people in toxic relationships to get out of them. Forget an Oscar. Barbie should win a Nobel Peace Prize for this public service. One of the powerful pieces of the movie is it talks about toxic patriarchy and that system of how men grind other people down, or maybe even people with masculine energy grind other people down, or maybe even people with feminine energy that have been trained and grown up inside of the model of toxic patriarchy grind people down. So I'm going to talk a little bit about backgrounds about how we work and some possible shifts. All humans at our core are mystics. Sometimes the layers and patterns from our past get in the way of this. When we do our work and set boundaries, heal our own internal challenges, and be a stand for other people's greatness, that shift from the I model to the we model starts to flow and moves through us. Mystics down through the ages have talked about how there's this transformational process that takes place when we move our attention from just me to the paradigm of thee. When we just have our attention on ourselves, our place of judgment or ego pretty much runs the show. As we stretch and embrace practices like sacred service in contributing to our community, family, and the planet, our worldview and the possibilities that are available to us crack open, and our quality of life gets better and better. This shift opens the door to our mysticism. Another challenge is our thinking and our internal tapes and loops that we are not enough, many people, especially in this culture, have deeply trained or deeply rooted patterning around how they think they're a failure, or we think we're a failure, or we're not enough, or we're broken somehow. One way to shift this is coming and as noticing our scarcity or lack paradigm. That feeds into that whole model about how we're not good enough, or we're broken. As we do our spiritual practice and embrace abundance consciousness, the density associated with the old tapes softens. As we are gentle with ourselves and invite the scarcity off to the side, prosperity and abundance says, come play, come dance, come let your internal love and light shine. As you are enough. Another pattern is that we create stories up in our head. And we often tell ourselves these same stories over and over again. As we do this, the stories are reinforced. Sometimes we have stories in our head from when we were a little kid, and we've been telling ourselves these same stories for decades sometimes. When we can observe and witness ourselves telling those same old stories, our internal programs, when we observe those internal programs, we are at a choice point. There's this powerful occurrence that happens when people practice observing themselves and getting outside of ourselves and looking back at ourselves. This can provide a powerful context for making new choices, for being at choice points that might be brand new. The invitation is to practice telling yourself new stories. When you notice the lenses or filters of seeing everything through the veil of money, that is your opportunity to shift and transform and create a new story. And it's not just money, it's everything. Sometimes we have complaints that we've been telling ourselves for decades. And when we're telling ourselves those complaints, our worldview, the lenses we're looking through, and how we hear things are flavored or veiled by those complaints. And if you really stop and start observing yourself powerfully, you might notice that you have many, many different lenses or filters or veils. This quote is from Kathy Ann Lewis, Reverend Kathy Ann Lewis. She's the lead minister at CSL Seattle. In what direction is your creative story going? Create a story around you that serves you. If you can create broke, you can create rich as well. So I introduced a prosperity program last Sunday, and we're in the second week of the program. It's called Ka-Ching, and it's all about prosperity flowing. And I'm going to read this to you. Ka-Ching, 6 weeks to prosperity. Week number 2. What do we think about prosperity? Any unexpected money you receive, like coupons, rebates, someone buys you something like coffee, lunch, dinner, or anything else, is unexpected income. In other words, it's not something you have in your budget and your regular income from any specific source. An example is a friend buys you a dollar cup of coffee. Inside the unexpected income domain, you take 10 cents of that and add it to your savings. 10 cents goes to something you would like. 10 cents goes to the Ka-Ching program. And 70 cents is added to your regular income. You keep track of every unexpected income, no matter how small it may be. Record it, and then bring the record of that and the 10% for our Kaching container next Sunday. We share all of our prosperity experiences. This week's prosperity note is all about thoughts creating our reality. Excuse me. We create from our beliefs. How many of us were taught that money is the root of all evil? Or we have to struggle just to get by? Or if we're wealthy, we have to worry about losing it. Our beliefs or fears about abundance can limit our receptivity to the infinite supply of source. If we look for lack or deficiency in our life, our focused energy creates more of the same. If we choose to see the ever-present abundance of spirit in our lives, we see and increase and receive increasingly. Sharing our 10% unexpected Kaching income circulates the divine flow of good. The more we celebrate everyone's abundance, the more the divine flow of good shows up in our lives. Abundance is living joy-filled lives. We're going to have a container next Sunday. Next Sunday, we do our community connections, fourth Sunday service, and it'll be at the Methodist Church at 4 o'clock. And this is a new service. And I invite you to come play. It's pretty cool. We've done one of them before, and Debbie Braun and Barbara Babcock and I are creating each one newly. So I'm not sure what it's going to look like, but it's going to be cool. Okay, I invite you to take a breath. Let's move into prayer. As that exquisite groundedness flows through all of who I am, I behold this same beautiful energy for each person on this call and for each person that might be watching this recording. Each person is a mystic inside. And as we breathe, we activate that mysticism. We activate that ability to be present in the moment. And when we're present in the moment, all possibilities flow. We literally have all possibilities at our fingertips. I give great thanks. I say thank you for each person on this call, for each person watching this recording. I say thank you for the abundance that's flowing inside the domain of unexpected income. As we embrace that whole domain of unexpected income, our world around money can crack open. Our world around scarcity and lack can gently move off to the side. I'm thankful for this technology where we can embrace unexpected income. I'm grateful for CSL Boulder Valley. As we practice noticing the lenses and filters and veils that we see life through, that we listen to life through, I'm grateful that we have this opportunity to say yes to gently inviting those filters off to the side, to gently embrace presence. Behind all this prayer is the magic of the love and the law. The love moves through the law, empowers the law, actuates the law. And I claim this for this conversation, that the love that is inside of each one of us is moving through this law and saying yes, empowering our lives, empowering this prayer. I release this prayer into that beautiful mixture of love and law. And I invite us all to say together, and so it is. Take that breath, if you would. So one of the ways that CSL Boulder Valley grows is by people contributing their time, their talents, and their treasure to CSL Boulder Valley. All three of those are very important. This afternoon, we're going to a potluck picnic at Dr. Emily's house. She's contributing her home and her beautiful environment and that beautiful smile she has. Lori Lee was the contact person. If we wanted to go, we emailed her. Lori Lee contributed her time to contribute to and contributed to that amazing picnic. That's a great example of volunteers here at CSL Boulder Valley, empowering the community and empowering CSL Boulder Valley. Another way we can support CSL Boulder Valley is to dive into that abundance consciousness and contribute. And there's lots of different ways to do that. I've got another slide for that. Let's do our offering affirmation. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive. And so it is. I'm going to pull up the slide about how to give. There's many different ways to contribute. You can go online to our website, and at the bottom, there's information. You can text to give. You can send it via snail mail. And there's also a system called Tithely, and you can give money that way. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about announcements for just a second here. We've talked about it several times. I'm going to talk about it one more time. We've got a potluck picnic at 12 noon. I'm looking out the window and it's pretty cloudy right now. So that drops the temperature about 10 degrees. I'm pretty sure there's shade there. So if the temperature is slowing you down or maybe making you hesitant, I invite you to just take that into account, that it'll probably be a little bit cooler because the sun's behind clouds right now. Bring a chair and bring yummy food to share. And there's the address at Dr. Emily's house. This next Sunday, like I mentioned before, is our out-of-the-box community connection service. Debbie Braun and Barbara Babcock and I are co-creating this. And it's a whole new model for CSL services. I like to talk about it as CSL 4.0. There's lots of ministers around CSL that are talking about how it's time to update the older domain. It's time to shift into new ways of being. And that's one of the things that this service does, this out-of-the-box service does. It's a different paradigm. And there's nothing wrong, there's nothing broken about the old paradigm. It's just, there's an opportunity for us to update stuff. It's an opportunity for us to move into the next level of CSL technology. So I invite you to come play with us at this fourth Sunday service. It's at the same time, 4 o'clock, and it's at the Methodist Church.